Good afternoon and happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to be covering the voice scope of appointment as well as the voice signature on some of the platforms we have here. Just before we get into it, I am going to cover some ground rules. Everyone is on mute, and that's just so we don't have any background noise. But if you do have any questions throughout the duration of the webinar, feel free to use the chat box, and I will be answering them at the end of the webinar. So what we're going to be going over is how to do a voice scope of appointment and the voice signature. Two of the systems that we like to use here at Pinnacle are going to be Connecture and Sunfire. So if you're a contracted agent with us, you do get access to both of them for free. Under our online enrollment, you will see Connect for Insurance. And you have the option of Connecture, My Medicare Bot, or Sunfire. Today we're going to be covering both Connecture and Sunfire and how to use their voice scope of appointment. So we're going to start with Connecture. Now these are our training ones, so you'll notice that they are a little bit different than yours. However, if you have any activities going on, you'll see them right here in your dashboard. So if you have any outdating scope of appointments or any follow-up reminders, they will show up right here in your dashboard. So we're going to go ahead and create a mock profile. So if you have a new client, you're going to go to New Profile and type in their basic information. And we do recommend when you are typing in this information, the more the merrier. This will copy and paste onto the client's application. So you'll go ahead and fill out all of their information here. Once you have it entered, once you hit save, you'll see that you can start call recording. Now with Connecture, there's no inbound calling, it's strictly outbound, so you're able to call your client right from your tablet, computer, or whatever system you're using it on. They will get either an 800 or an 888 number that will call them if you wanted to give them a heads up, but you will be talking directly through this system. Connecture also has different lookups that you can use. So if you have your client's information, again, the more the merrier, it'll give you a lot more options. Once you have all of their information in, you're going to hit Continue to SOA, which will take you to the Scope of Appointment options. And you have a few different options. You can email your scope to your client, and you can also text it to them. We suggest, if you haven't done this already with your client, to make a mock profile in your Connecture and send an email or a text to yourself so you can see exactly how your client would get that. You're also able to complete an SOA form in person. And what this will do is it brings up an electronic scope of appointment, and you can collect that right there with your client. The most important one is, though, you can complete the SOA form by phone. So if your clients are not tech savvy or they prefer to do everything on the phone, as long as you started that call with your client and you hit the complete SOA form by phone, you can continue to go ahead and read this to your client and check off for them. You're going to go ahead and proceed and check off the boxes as you go. And this will all be recorded and stored for your client as a normal scope of appointment. So it will store for 10 years. So now you have completed the SOA form by phone. So again, this will store it for 10 years. And if you need any of the recordings by either phone call or the scope of appointment, you can call us here at Pinnacle and we'll be able to send you over a digital copy of that. You would just go through and complete your form of the scope of appointment. So the initial method of contact is going to be, how did you find this client? Were they a referral? Were they a walk-in? Or were they a lead? Again, you're going to check off the boxes that pertain to this client. So this is going to be, what did you talk about during that meeting with your client? You're going to select the correct date, confirm, and submit the form. So once you have that, your scope of appointment by phone has then been completed. You will see the confirmation appear, and if you need to view it, you have access to that as well. So once you have completed your scope of appointment, you're able to click on the Add Preferences. And what this does is it takes all of your clients' information, so what their health is, their doctors, their prescriptions, and their pharmacies. A lot of this is going to be optional, so of course, select what pertains to your client. And this will filter out and pinpoint different plans that are going to be beneficial to your client. When we get to the health side, we typically leave this at generally healthy. Of course, you're going to select their age range bracket. And the estimated cost is optional. We're going to select yes, because what this will do in a further screen, you'll see it breaks down all of their costs, including their prescriptions month by month. You are able to adjust all of these different options as well. So you can update it if there's a client that's more in need or in less need of any of these options. Once you've selected, we're going to continue. And now you're able to put in your client's doctors. In this case, we are going to use a doctor right across the street here at Pinnacle. And you'll see it'll bring up every doctor close to that name, and even a map if you're not too sure where that doctor is located at. I'm going to select just a few here. And when you scroll down, you'll be able to see the doctors that you have selected here. You can select their primary, and if you need to change it, you can always just click on the other one and it'll select that one as the PCP. So once you have your doctors in, we're going to continue. And you're able to put in all of their prescriptions. This down here, connect to mymedicare.gov, will actually connect to their blue button. Just make sure that they have everything updated if they choose to use that. If it's not, you're still able to go ahead and type in each of their prescriptions. And as you start to type, it'll start to generate some of the prescriptions that are similar to that. Just make sure when you are with your client or talking to your client that you are selecting the right prescription. Sometimes there are some that show up as the extended release, like the ER, and that can change on the formulary. So you want to make sure you select the right one, make sure you have their quantity and frequency correct as well. And you are simply able to add that to the prescription list. We'll add another one here as well. And once you enter all of your client's information, this will store it in the system, almost like a mini CRM. So you are able to go back and update anything with your client as needed or go forward in future appointments with them. So we are going to continue. And this will bring us to our pharmacies. So again, you are able to type in their pharmacies. You can select any of the local ones closest to them. And we do suggest you select more than one, just in case that wasn't their normal pharmacy or the prices change depending on that pharmacy. And just like the doctors, you are able to select their primary pharmacy. And once you have everything in, we're going to continue. And this is going to bring us to our plans. So again, ours is going to look just a little different than yours. Your Connecture and both your Sunfire are going to represent the plans that you are active and ready to sell with through Pinnacle. Connecture is going to have a few different options where you can choose anywhere between an MAPD, even to hospital indemnity. And if you aren't seeing the plans that you would like, of course, let us know. We'll be able to assist you and add those carriers to your Connecture or Sunfire. But if you know that you're not representing that carrier and you'd like to see, if you hit Add Non-Licensed Plans here, it'll show you everything that you are able to sell in that area with Pinnacle. There's also another option to add all special needs plans. So if you're currently with us for United Healthcare and have the new 5-star MAPD IE-SNP, if you click on that, you'll be able to see it under that tab. Connecture is automatically going to sort all of the premiums from low to high, but you do have other options to sort by what your client might need. And as you start to see, each of the carriers will have their own box where you can see which doctors are in and out of network, which drugs are going to be covered on the formulary. And again, this will show everything that you are able to sell with through Pinnacle. Connecture will also give you the options to compare up to 3 different plans. So it'll bring up all of the plans side by side, and you are able to send this directly to your client. You can send it to yourself for reference. And if you found the plan that you're interested in for your client, you can also go right into the plan details, and you're able to see all of the details of the plan, the information on their prescriptions, those health costs that we saw from earlier today. And under the total estimated cost, this is where you're going to be able to see their drug costs broken down on a month-by-month basis. So if you have a client who has a very pricey prescription, you'll be able to see if they fall into the donut hole at any point in that specific plan. Once you have the plan that you wanted for your client, you can hit Add to Cart, and it's going to redirect you. It'll still look the same as Connecture, but it'll copy and paste everything onto that carrier's application, and you're able to digitally send that through. The voice scope of appointment will be sent with that, and again, the entire conversation will be stored and recorded for up to 10 years. And again, this is free to all of our contracted agents. The second program we have to offer at Pinnacle, which again is free to agents, is going to be Sunfire. Sunfire and Connecture are very, very similar. They just look a little different and might vary between a carrier or two. Again, they both have call recording capabilities and voice scope of appointment as well. And this is our Sunfire platform. As you can see, it looks a little bit different than the dashboard that we had seen on the Connecture platform. We're again going to make another mock profile. And to do that, you're going to hit the Search Contacts. And we're going to go down to Add New Contact. And again, the more the merrier, the more that you put in here for your client. It will copy and paste onto their application. And once you have their information in, you are able to save them in here. We're going to go back to the dashboard, but as you can see, right next to the Connect for Medicare logo, you will see that your client is here. Now, Sunfire does work a little bit differently. Connecture will let you do outbound calls, but you're not able to receive inbound. Sunfire gives you the option to do inbound, outbound, and three-way calling as well. One of the things, if you do not notice a start dialer phone on your Sunfire, if you go into your settings, you're actually able to select your own phone number. And by doing that, we're going to hit the T and go straight to profile. You can go ahead and make sure that your information as the agent is correct. And again, ours looks a little bit differently. So if you don't already have a dialer number here, there will be a button to add dialer phone. If you click on that, you're able to type in a 3-digit area code, and it will generate the rest of the phone number for you here. This number will not change, so you are able to give this to your client. They are able to dial in, and they can call you through your Sunfire. The only thing with that, Sunfire does not have a call log, so you cannot see if you have any missed calls from your clients, nor does it give you an option to leave voicemails. So once you've added your number, you're able to add your signature as well, and that will help you doing any kind of digital scope of appointment. It'll e-sign for you. So once you have that all set, we are able to call our client. You would simply hit Start Dialer Phone, and you have an option to make a call. Once you're on the phone with your client, again, this will store all of the recordings for up to 10 years, including the voice scope of appointment. We're going to click on Send a Scope. And again, you are able to text, email your client. Again, we suggest, if you haven't done this yourself, to go in, make a mock profile, and text and email yourself as well so you can see what your client is seeing. Sunfire does have the option to do a voice scope of appointment. However, it will not show up unless you're on the phone with your client. So there will be a button here. And that will allow you to do a voice scope with your client. And again, it will bring up the entire scope of appointment. Just like Connecture, you're going to read the entire scope of appointment and check off the boxes as you go along. Once you have done that, there will be a button to complete, and it will have your voice scope of appointment stored for 10 years. So once you have your scope of appointment from your client, you can go to the quote and start quoting your client as normal. And just like Connecture, there are options to look up different things for your client. So if you have that information, again, the more the merrier, you're able to fill that out and see what they qualify for. If you don't have that, you would simply just go to zip code. And once you start plugging in your client's information, more questions will generate from that. And we are able to type in their doctors, and you will see that that is the primary. And again, you want to answer all of the questions that pertain to your client. And just like ConnectSure, you do want to make sure that you are selecting the correct prescription for your clients. You were able to put in their pharmacies as well. If they receive LIS, you're able to pick that there as well. And Sunfire will also give you some focus questions. Again, this is going to pinpoint specific plans that pertain to your client. So if they are on insulin or would like some extra benefits, you're able to select that there as well. And once you have everything selected, you can simply hit View All Plans. And again, this will reflect everything that you are able to sell through Pinnacle, so everything you are active and ready to sell with. So as you can see, it is going to look just a little bit different versus the ConnectSure platform. But again, you will have all of the same details as well. So you will see some of the benefits throughout the plan, what their copays will be, how much their prescriptions are, and if the doctors are in and out of network. And again, you are able to compare up to 3 different plans, and it'll bring it up side by side, as well as see the details within that plan. And once you have that plan selected for your client, again, you would just hit the Enroll button, and this will copy and paste everything about your client onto the actual application, submit it to the carrier, as well as that voice scope of appointment. I did just want to point out that if you guys do have any more questions on these systems, to of course reach out to a director here at Pinnacle. We do have some quick little videos as well that we've done in the past, as well as some documents that show just a little bit more information on all 3 of the platforms here. If you're not sure on who to contact, under the About Us on our contact team, questions that you have with ConnectSure, Sunfire, My Medicare Bot, you're more than welcome to reach out to anyone here on the sales team, including myself, as well as our agent trainer, Rob Valencias. He is an agent himself. And our support team. So our support team will be able to help you with any questions on ConnectSure and Sunfire as well. Also, under our Services tab, down in Webinars, Pinnacle has a ton of different webinar recordings, some that are specific to AEP, as well as our YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel will host most of our webinars. We also have a few podcasts here that we do at Pinnacle, and that's exactly where you'd find them. So if you haven't checked them out already, I highly suggest it. It doesn't look like we have any questions from anybody today. So again, thank you for joining today's webinar. If you do have any questions that you might think of later, feel free to reach out to us here at Pinnacle. And thank you guys so much for joining today's webinar, and I hope you all have a great week.